All right, here we go, guys. And we are live again. We are live. So just let me restore. Okay. Yep, we're good to go. All right. Sorry. Okay, just a minute. So just let me. All right. Sorry about that. I was what happened was we were on a different account, so it kind of um booted me out, So we took care of it. I apologize to you, and so I think right now, do you have your phone standing up or sideways?
Do you need like this?
Yes, yes, yeah. There you go. Much
Yeah,
better. Much better. Okay.
good to
So
go.
good to go. Okay. Thank you so much for your being patient. Um,
No problem.
okay. So you're flying your young birds, and we're okay. Those young birds that you're flying, how long do you give them the time to prove to you that they're going to be worthy keeping?
Before the next breeding season, if they're not performing like the next breeding season, I will just call them.
Okay.
So I can't wait for more than a year for a bird to come on. So like I said, 9 months to 10, 11 months, that's maximum. 8 to 9 months, they will show me.
Okay. Okay. And so I asked this question online, and when do you go on and start calling your birds? So you pretty much at one time go ahead and decide whether or not the birds are gonna go forward or they're gone, right?
Yeah, for sure. And then you only need to keep the best ones and call the rest, and you start all over again for the next breeding season. You don't need to keep all those birds, but
Okay.
you need to give them a good chance. You need to fly them out and give them a fair chance.
Okay. And
Many people call the bird too early. Huh? They
okay.
want them to start rolling at around 3 to 4 months. At 6 months, they call them already, but it's too early.
Okay.
They
And
need to develop. They need to fly and
okay.
get a good chance.
So by the next breeding season, that's already going into their second fly season, correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
But most of the birds will not even be a year old at the next breeding season. So I will give them around 8 to 12 months. After 12 months, I will call them.
Okay. So by the time you get to the point to breeding, and you're breeding new offspring, new rounds, you've already made room for those birds. So you started three. So you started three. Let's just say three different kits. You say you breed 60 birds, right? So the oldest kit
Yes.
are the ones that start getting cold first, and then you replace
Yeah,
that,
for
and
sure.
and then you go down the line.
That's it. At the end of the next breeding season, I will end up around 25 to 30 from the 60.
Okay.
Some of them get lost around, some birds roll down, some birds make a mistake, some birds don't come back home, and sometimes the bird of prey will get them. At the end of the day, I don't cull that many birds. At the end of the day, I'll end up with around 25 birds from that 60 birds.
Okay.
And I'll keep them in women and keep
Okay.
for the next year,
Now,
like a holdover keep.
and are you strict with the birds from the beginning as far as birds, problem birds like outbirds or birds having a hard time keeping up, or do you give them an
Yes.
opportunity, or is there a way to fix that? How do you deal with that?
I will first, I will first make sure the bird's healthy. And if it's healthy, I'll give it another chance. I'll give it a good rest. I will feed it up, apply it again. By the second or third time it does the same mistake out of the keep, I'll just cut it back. Because you need to make a plan with that bird very, very early. Because that bird will only gives you problems down the line. And before you know it, another one will do the same thing.
Okay. Okay. So let's talk a little bit about your older birds. How, okay, I know you fly your younger birds. You explained to us how you fly them in all year, okay? The older birds, how much flying do they get? How much flight time do they get as far as training
Not
and?
not as much. Over here we have a couple of competitions in a year, and after the competition I put them away. They don't need to fly. We have a local club fly every month, and for after the fly I put them away for around 2 to 3 weeks. Only the last week I'll take them out again, and we only take 2 to 3 times flying to get back onto form again. Then I'll put them away again. So I don't fly them all year. I don't fly them all month. I sit most of the time.
Oh, okay. Wow. So they don't get and where you keep them at is it is it like a walk-in loft or a kit box? How do you keep them in there as far as the time where they're not flying? What does their
There's, there's,
compartment look like?
I've got 6 kit boxes. Each take 24 birds, and there's a hallway in front of the kit box with a trap in the front side. So I could keep six kits easily. So I work with the 3 young bird kits in the first 3 kit boxes, and the older birds at the end. So I don't need those birds to fly every day or every week. Only for competition I will push them to get them back onto form again. And like I said, only 3 to 4 days they will be on form again.
Nice. So the kitten will be good.
Good,
Everything
good.
will be uniform.
The day I open them, the kitting will be a bit widespread, and the second day they will start kitting well. And then it only takes a couple of flies to get them back into form again.
So that means that you only fly them prior to competition, and then they get locked up
That,
again.
that's
Okay.
it. Yeah.
Now,
You
are you
don't fly them every day.
every day?
No, you don't need to fly them every day.
Okay,
You will
yeah.
spoil them when you fly every day.
And do are they housed together as far as their genders, the cocks and hens, or do you mix them, or do
I've
you?
got, no. I'll feed them when I fly them. I will feed them separately, together, and when they sit, I will sit separately. I'll put the cocks one side and the hens on the other side. I've got especially uh, there's 2 key boxes for the 18. One left side is for the cocks and the right side for the hens.
Okay, nice. Do you see equal performance in them as far as the cocks or the hens, or I mean, is there a difference? What do you like better, the cocks or the hens?
It doesn't matter to me. Cocks and hens, they can roll equally as good as each other. But I normally like to have around 8 to 10 cocks and 8 to 10 hens in my team. My team is about 24 birds, so I have a couple of extra birds as well.
Okay, okay, and then
Sometimes a bird goes off a roll or get injured or something like that. I have a replacement for that.
okay, and when you fly your birds, do you keep track of the weather as far as the pressure of the air and stuff? Because I know sometimes
No,
there's
no, not really.
no.
No, I don't keep track of the pressure.
Okay, so I know here there that causes a lot of overflies at times. Have you ever experienced like overflies?
Yeah, but overflies goes down to management.
Oh
You
man,
can't manage your birds, you will get overflies definitely.
like as far
You
as
need to
what
manage them up.
the feeding.
The feeding, yeah, yeah. You need to know what to feed them. If you feed them maize, they will any other food on the right or wrong time, they will pin out on you.
Okay, okay. So explain to us on as far as manipulating your birds with the feed, like if you start your birds, like let's just say you start flying your older birds, your competition teams, um, prior to flying them, prior to start flying them and training them, what are they getting fed and how much are they getting fed prior as they're in the kit boxes? What are you feeding them? Feeding them all the time that they're resting up.
After a big fly, I need to put back all the lost energy. So I'll give them protein like wheat and peas like that. And that's my three main grains I'm using is peas, I'm using wheat, and I'm using like red Milo. And I mix it together and feed them as much as they can eat. And prior to the competition, 4 days before I start flying them again, I would just cut back on their feed, and I would just give them some red Milo and then fly them again, get them in form again.
Okay, the red Milo. And what does that do
Yeah.
for the birds? Giving them wheat versus Milo.
The wheat is more into protein, more on the protein side, and the Milo is more on the carbohydrate side. And the birds doesn't need the day before you fly competition. You don't need the protein. If you give them protein, they will only fly. That is in my opinion. They will only fly, and they will fly fast, and they will not throw. And the tails will close like this. When you know there's too much protein in that matter. You need the tails to be open, and they need to fly slow. In my birds, I can get it right with red Milo the day before the fly. I fed them up with protein and break them down with Milo.
So go
The Milo
down.
makes Milo makes them to fly slow as well. They drop a wing beat, the speed of a wing beat as well.
Okay. To get a better idea, take us back like 2 weeks prior to the competition on how would you start, manipulate them with the feed and the fly schedule to going towards the competition. Let's say you're flying on a Saturday, so let's go back 2 weeks. What is it that you do?
I only need around 10 days before the fly, so
Ten
I'll
days.
check the date on what the flying date, and I will work out 3 days. Every third day I will fly them. So I'll work out from the day my competition date is 10 days back, and I will fly them every third day. I'm using the yo-yo system from Monty, and on a flying day I will feed them as much as they can eat after they come. After they work very well and hard,
Hmm.
I'll put them on a protein like my wheat and peas.
Yeah.
And the next day, but on that flying day, I'll give them as much as they can eat. And the second day, only the next day, the first day, I will give them a normal ration of Milo and wheat. And then the second day, I'll only give them wheat. I'll
Yeah.
only give them Milo. And then
Yeah.
I'll fly them
Yeah.
again. So it's like every third day, we take the protein up and the carbohydrates, breaking them down. And we're giving them the carbohydrates, they can work.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. And
Because in my birds, if you give them a day before the fly, if you give them protein, they will only fly.
yeah.
They won't run. They will fly fast. You need them to fly slow.
Yeah.
So that's my way of
Hey,
getting them
quiet
to fly
down.
slow.
Yeah. Okay. Um. Do you in any way do you leave the water in there with them all the time or do you?
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't take water away. I don't really take water away. I have made that mistakes in the past. Take water away when those birds come and land before time. I never take the water away.
Okay. So water is very important for them then, huh?
Yeah, because even in the winter over here during the day, it's getting hot, and they need water. Otherwise, they will dehydrate.
Okay. And coming down to like deciding uh what team will you enter for the competition? Is that be something that you just be visualizing whether the cocks or the hens are doing better than each other, and that's how would you pick what team is going forward?
My A team will consist of cocks and hens. I don't fly a cock kit or a hen kit. Doesn't matter to me. The A team will be a mixed kit between the two,
Oh, okay, it'll be a
cocks and hens.
mixed team. Okay,
I only fly the best birds. If it's a cock or a hen, doesn't matter to me. I will fly the best birds in one kit. I'll put all the best birds in one.
so would you okay, so prior to the fly, you already have your team that is it's they're flying together, cocks and hens, but they get housed separate, right?
That's it. They only sit separate. When they come in, I will feed them together.
Yeah. Okay.
And then I will split them. I will split them up, cocks one side and hens the other side.
And what are the some of the faults that you look in your birds that indicate, I better look after this bird right here, that it might become a problem here? What are some of the things you look at in a team?
Birds rolling from the back and birds rolling between breaks, and obviously outbirds. That's the main things I look for.
So what
I
do you
don't
mean?
I
What do you
don't
mean by birds rolling between breaks?
I don't like birds individual rows between the breaks. They must fly. When they break, they must get together and they must fly to the next break. I don't like individual 2, 3, 4 birds keep on rolling at the back or on the sides or stuff like that. And after the break, they must regroup again and they must fly to the next point. They must stop and they must break.
Okay. Yeah. And
Too much activity is also a fault. You don't want them too active as well.
yeah, and you know what? I wanted to ask you that question. I know that many of us want to see activity, and we get kind of a little excited seeing it, but I know that that's happened to me, where too much activity, it's a problem you know by maybe having the birds land early and not making time, and flying real low. What are some of the things that we could do as far as when we start seeing this happen? At first I thought it was something good. I got them right where I wanted, but they're just too active. They wouldn't elevate. What are some of the things that we could do for that issue right there?
It depends on what family it is. Many families are like that, and you can do nothing to it. If he's too active, he's too active. And maybe he can play around with the feet. I don't know, but like I said, I don't like too much activity. Twice a minute,
Twice
more
a
than
minute.
enough.
Twice a
Twice a
minute.
minute,
Yeah.
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 Mm.
So more than that, they're probably not giving you their best, huh?
Yeah, and more than that, you will get what popcorn breaks. It's not really breaks. It's only activity and play. They don't really row.
Yeah. Nice. All right, everybody that's tuning in, I apologize for the little hiccup I had. We fixed the problem. Welcome back. This is Hannes Rossouw from South Africa. If you guys have any questions right now, go ahead and post it on the chat, and I'll go ahead and let them know the question and see if we could answer it for you guys. So you guys are welcome to ask any questions. So feel free. Okay. So what are some of the okay? Give us like something to relate to as far as your guys' region. I mean, do you guys have a lot of flyers out there, and is there like regional clubs, and what are some of the competition flyers you guys put together and over there?
We got around 5 regions in South Africa, and all those regions are concentrated of around 100 miles from, if we make a circle of 100 miles, all those 5 regions will be in there. And the competition over here is very, 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 very tough. And in our region, we got around 4 to 5 clubs. And we have different competitions. We have a national fly, and we have like an interfly between the regions. And we have a local club flies. So there's a lot of flying going on over here. And we have like a union, where at that union there's about 80 to 90 persons in the flyers in that joining that union.
Nice.
So there's a lot of flyers and a lot of competition over here, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But there's other regions as well, but in quite a distance from here, there's other regions also coming up now. So the sport is really growing over here.
Yeah. Rick Schoening says, yeah, looking good, Hannes. You guys have come a long way since I was there.
Yeah. I really met. I like Rick Schoening, and he stayed with me when he was over here in 2005.
Okay, nice.
Hi, Rick. Yes.
So give us a little. Take us back to where I know you judged out here, right? You judged the World Cup.
Yes, I judged the World Cup in 2009.
Could you give us a little your experience as far as traveling all the countries and the kits you saw, the fanciers you got to meet? Give us a little experience of that.
Judging the World Cup is a good experience. So I will change that for nothing. But it's hard work. It takes a lot of you, a lot of time. I've been away for 2.5 to 3 months, and the traveling is killing you. Sitting at airports, I was sitting at the airport in Portland for over 18 hours for the next flight, and I was crossing America from one side to the other side. I took 45 flights in America again. 45 flights in America from one side to the other side, all together. I think I was judging around 40 to 50 people only in America. So America was the biggest hurdle to get over. And from there, I went to Canada, and from Canada, I went to Europe. And I've seen a lot of good kids around the world, and I really made a lot of good friends as well.
Yeah, what year was that?
In 2009.
2009.
Yeah. So it's a while ago.
Yeah, and so what did you think about some of the flyers out here in the States?
I was really disappointed when I come to America.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought I was going to see every day very good kids, and that wasn't the case. Every day something goes wrong. The guy comes to the guy's house, it's 100 degrees. He put his birds out, only flying around the loft for 5 minutes, and they come and sit and land. So I could take my 2 hands to get with the best teams I've seen around the world on one hand. So, but on the other side, I made a lot of good friends. So it's not all about flying competition. It's making a lot of good friends around the world. And I really appreciate all those guys. I went to it, and they hosted me, and they treated me like a king.
Yeah, that's nice. That's always a good thing, and sometimes that's one of the things that I'm trying to do here is bring the globe together and experience a lot what you experience, and get to know people from all over, all the flyers out there and what they do. You met a lot of good guys out here. Rick Schoening asked, did Ron Swartz import birds from you only? Or who else did he get birds from in your country?
You're talking about Ron Swart?
Yes, Ron Swart.
He only got birds from me.
Okay.
I sent those birds to him in 2010.
Okay. Let's see, one other question. Okay, what are the majority of families of birds out there? Biker, Mason, etc. What do the majority of family of birds out there?
I think the majority of birds over here will be mason, and not pure mason, but most of them will be mason with something else. Mason with, let's say, bazans, and mason with something else. Most of the guys have great success with mason crossings over here. They created their own families around that crossing. So they are doing very well.
Okay. Yeah. Kenny Tommy mentioned that a lot of guys are doing like the three-way crosses out there.
Uh, the freeway cross, yeah.
Yeah,
The
three-way
freeway
cross.
cross is a very, very, very successful cross working over here. But freeway cross becoming its own family at this stage now, because the guys who crossing those birds are working with them for the last 20 years now. So it becomes their own family now.
Yeah, yeah. There's another question. They're asking, do you salt your kits before competition?
I do what?
Salt them like Epsom salt, or put salt in the water?
No, no,
No,
no, I didn't do that.
no.
No, not at all.
Okay,
I don't believe in that.
okay. Um, when does your fly season start over there? What months?
It's around May.
Around May, you say, right?
May,
Okay.
yeah, May. Yeah. When the molting season also ended, because um, our birds starting to molt now in January, and the last flight will be out at around in May.
Okay. And do you just let the moat um take its course on its own, or is there? I know there's a lot of guys that snip the part of the feathers and then pluck them when the nerves dry out, or some just pluck them. Do you just let them run its course, or what is it that you do?
We do the same thing over here. We cut the flights, the primary flights, and when they dry out, we will pluck them. If you don't do that, the last flights won't be out when competition starts. You can't fly birds on the last two flights. You need to do that as well.
How
over
long
here.
how long prior to competition do you need to do that?
Around a month.
A month. So you're looking
Yeah,
at 4 weeks till they grow back out.
yeah, for 4 to 5 weeks. It's
Okay.
enough.
Rick Schoening says Swart had a pair of red badges from you. I didn't think you have any marked birds. I have a little blood from the red badge pair. So you got red badges in your family?
Yes, I do. But only far away in my family, you will get badges, and sometimes those badges come. I don't breed many badges in a year. I breed maybe two or three, but most of my birds are cells, or maybe mixed wings.
Yeah. So you get a lot of like T pattern checks,
Yeah,
right? A lot of dark birds, some blue badge, red badges, right?
most of the birds are red or blue, and there's different blues. There's but black, almost like a velvet blue, when you get an open check. So I have both of my birds. And on the red side as well, I have a lot of red bars. We call it mealies, and red bars, and red checks.
Yeah. And someone says, do you think everyone will end up with all the same three crosses? Because all I keep hearing in those three names is those three names. That's the same thing that was happening in California.
I don't know. It's difficult to say. Those guys with those freeway crosses, they do very well. But not everybody fly those birds.
Okay.
I'm not sure if everybody will end up with a freeway cross. I'm not sure. My birds are also coming from only three birds, but we are all related, but very far related.
Okay. And
And I've been living over the last 25 years now.
do you pay attention to The eye, like the eyes in your birds. I know. I have some of the birds that go back to you. That I see a lot of crack eye birds, pearl eye birds. Is there a way do you select them to, as far as to control that in your loft, or is there a preference and eye coloring that you think that birds are better as far as a bull eye, or could you explain that?
I've seen good birds with any type of eye, red eye, bull eye, pearl eye, any eye. But in my family, the three birds I started off with was all pearl eye birds. And if you put up a pearl eye with a pearl eye, you will produce a pearl eye. You cannot produce an orange eye or any other type of eye except a pearl eye. And in a pearl eye, you get three or four types of pearl eyes as well. You get a light one, and then you get a very, very dark one. So in the later birds of mine, I produce a lot of dark, we call it like a gravel eye. And but that's the way it is. My birds, all my birds have pearl eyes. There's no orange eyes, no other color of eyes.
And where does the crack eye come from? Because I've seen some that have that.
The crack eyes can maybe come from the birds that are mixed. I don't get any crack eyes of my birds. Nothing.
Okay, okay. It
You must
makes
know Ron crossed those birds from me with Jimmy's birds, and he created that Molly. We all spoke about the Molly bird.
Oh
It's
yes,
coming
yes.
from yeah. So one side was my birds, and the other side was Mason birds from Jimmy Sherwood.
Okay. Um. When the bird, when you were flying your kit birds, um, I come to this problem, and I know many people do as well. But what do you think is the reason that you have your birds only flying on one wings on circles and not doing the figure eight? What do you think is the problem? Could it be feed? Could it be the birds? What is your thought on that?
No, it's only the birds. My birds, as soon as the babies go to the sky, the very first week we starting to kit, they're already flying on the big figure eight pattern. So that's bred into the bird. If you get a family only flying on one wing, you will never get that out of it. You need to change the family, feed or nothing else like that will solve the problem.
Okay. Um, so what's the earliest that you see that your birds come in, and do you see that the earlier they come in, do you see that they could be problem birds in the future? What is your thought on that?
Around 3 to 4 months we're coming on, but if they come in too early, um, that doesn't matter to me. I will just feed them up. I will try to keep a row away from them. So I'll feed them up, and I will fly them less to get over that row. Some birds coming into the row very quickly, and you need to address that. And by flying them less and feeding them up, normally I will fix that problem.
Okay. And on as far as having the kit chemistry, um, what do you think gives the birds more of a better kit chemistry? Is it cultivating? Is it manipulating them with feed? What do you think makes the birds perform altogether um, more than single birds? Or less of a big break and more smaller breaks, five, sixes versus 12s, 13, 14s, doubles. What do you think that
To, to,
is causes all that?
um, to causes for small breaks will be flying too fast, flying too widespread, and flying on one wing. To get those big monster breaks, they need to fly slow. They need to keep very, very, very tight. And because the communication in the kit will be very, if you keep getting stiff, and flying slow.
Okay.
And the flying pattern is very important. When they will know exactly when to break when they're flying in vertical pattern. But if they're flying on one wing all in a round, on the ends you will see 5 or 6 on this end, 5 or 6 on that end. I never seen very on top kits breaking flying on one wing. They need to fly in the figure eight, they need to fly slow, and they need to keep very, very, very tight.
How high is perfect height for you on the birds?
Not too low. I will say around 60 feet, 60 to 100 feet is a good height. You need to see them all the time. And I don't like birds that flying in and out in the sky. I won't even judge them there.
Okay. Yeah, it makes sense.
They need there's a comfort zone. They need to get over that comfort zone. Yeah, not too low, but not too high as well.
Right, right. Do you medicate at all? I mean, I know that out here we've been having a lot of viruses like the adenovirus, PMV. Do you medicate to prevent that, or do you just try to keep them, pure as far as letting their immune system fight or battle whatever comes their way?
I'll vaccinate. I'll even vaccinate the babies in the nest. And I vaccinate for Newcastle disease, and I vaccinate for PMV, and I vaccinate for paratyphoid. That's it. I don't like too many medicines, because most of the medicines like antibiotics only break down the immune system. I like to build the immune system. The birds need to have their own natural immune system as well.
Okay, and at what time would you medicate for that? Do you do it prior to breeding or after to get your young birds, or what's the process on that?
Normally this time of the year I will vaccinate all the birds. But when the baby's coming on, I will vaccinate you in the nest at 3 weeks time. At 3 weeks old, I will start vaccinating them.
Okay.
I need to have good feathers and a bit stronger. I'll vaccinate them.
Yeah. Okay. And what is the hottest? Go ahead.
Many wild birds carrying the disease over here, so you need to be very careful. Right. Most of the diseases are airborne. Yeah. So you need to vaccinate.
Yeah. What is the hottest time of in the summer? Like, how hot does it get over there?
We work in degrees, and around 35 degrees, just about over 100 degrees in your language. Yeah. So you can get really hot here as well.
Yeah, but by that time you're done with the breeding, right?
Yeah. Normally I'm done with the breeding. My loft is cold, well ventilated, so I can breed in summer as well. No problem. I like to breed in the summer, better than the winter.
Oh, okay. And in the summer when you fly your birds, how long does this heat last over there? Is it a couple months, or I mean, do you do anything to keep your birds from getting stressed out from that? I mean, do you give them any type of vitamins in the water or anything like that?
No, not really. It's not so hot. That 35 degrees is only a couple of weeks. When it goes down in the high 20s. Okay. So that will be in around 80 to 90s in your language. But you see, we don't need to give special stuff for it.
Okay. And do you fly in the mornings or evenings? What do you prefer?
Both. Both? Both. In summer, it's getting up. The sun is getting up around 5 o'clock. So 5:15, I'll put a kit out. Coming back from work, I will fly another kit for the same kit twice. But it's difficult in the winter, because in the winter, 10:05 or 10 to 7, it's getting light. And
Um,
5 o'clock in the afternoon, it's getting dark as well.
they're asking, do you feed them up and break them down and feed them back up, or do you just, I don't know. As far as prior to competition, you did talk about that already, but um, well, this will have to be towards your younger birds. Or so you only have your competition kit and young birds, right? You don't deal with having yearlings, right?
It doesn't matter, the yearlings or young birds, I will fly them in the separate kits. But after, let's say, after a year, when I start my new breeding season,
Yeah.
those yearlings will go get into my 18. So I will only, and I will replace some 18 birds. Some of those 18 birds will go to the stock, and I will replace them with young birds. It's a
Right.
constant thing I do.
Yeah. 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 I know quite a bit, quite a few fanciers out here. You gotta have your birds, and it's normally like over here people refer them as South African birds. You know what I mean? And but I mean,
Yeah.
there's different flyers out there in South Africa, different birds. So, but there's quite a few people out here with your birds, and I'm pretty sure that they kind of want to uh, know a little bit more. Do you have anything you like to share with them as far as the handling of your birds, or just give them a little insight of a little information you want to share with them?
I'm not sure about what.
Just the well, I guess we are sharing everything right here with your birds. I noticed you there's a lot of birds that have like outside on your birds. Do you get a lot of that, or that you think that came in from the, or actually came in from the crosses from Ron Swartz?
For sure, I'm sure about that from my crosses. You know
Yeah.
what happened with the birds? I sent to Ron. I sent him like 7 pairs. 14 birds went over, and only 13 ended there. One died, and he had instant success with it. And when he called me up almost every second day, talking about on the phone more than an hour. So I really guided him with those birds. And when his demand for birds was getting so big, he couldn't keep up with the demand. Everybody wants some of those birds. And he said to me he's going to try to cross them with Jimmy's birds and see how it goes. I said to him, I don't know, you can do that, but that is only a short-term solution.
Okay.
Try to keep them together, it will be better. So when he crossed them out, then he sold them to everyone. So I'm not too sure how good those birds are, but in 2000, and I think it was 11, he qualified for the World Cup, and 2012 he qualified again, and I came eighth, and he came seventh, so he beat me with those. I'm not too sure if they were crosses or they were pure my birds, and from there he sold that kit to Ted Mann. Ted Mann won the World Cup in 2015 with him.
Yeah.
And then Ted Mann died with cancer, and they were all spread around the world, around America, and I don't know what happened to them, how they've been bred. And then it's almost, Ron died in 2013, so next year it will be 10 years down the line again.
Yeah. Okay. Um, I know that you said that you gotta work tomorrow, so we're gonna go ahead. You brought up that maybe we should do another episode for judging, and we're gonna go ahead and do that. But before we end up this podcast here, what are some of your achievements that you've achieved and earned in the past? I know that you've placed in the top 10 in the World Cup. Talk to us a little bit of that, and what are your future goals?
In the World Cup, I've had a second place, a runner-up place in 2008, and think it was in 2011 it was 5th, and 2012 it was 8th. I think in 2014 I ended up 12th in the world. And uh, for the last couple of years I've been not flying much competition anymore, because I been diagnosed with cancer, and that's a big hurdle for me to got over. And you won't believe me, the good Lord give me a second chance. So I was being diagnosed with lymph node cancer, and I had to go for chemotherapy. I went through all that, and I came out fine. So
Nice, nice.
this January, it's been 5 years. I've been clean. So now I'm feeling great again, and now I'm feeling I'm going to compete again. So I'm starting, almost starting over again now with my competition kits and stuff, because I had to get rid of a lot of birds, and because I was so sick, I couldn't even go to the lots. I had only 2 kit boxes full of only 12 cocks and 12 hens on both sides, and my wife went and she fed them every day for me. So I'm very grateful for that. So from that 12 pairs, I'm starting to breed again now, and I will be competitive. I think, I hope so, even next year or two.
Oh, nice, nice. Um, who knows? Maybe you could do another world tour. You know?
Yeah, I would like to do that again. That is a very, very nice thing to do, and I think I'm ready to do that again, future time.
Yeah. And then I want to let everybody know that you also got a lot of footage that you recorded from your World Cup tour that you went out and judged, and I'm gonna work with you and try to put that together so that people could see it.
Yeah,
I'm planning on what I'll do is I have a Patreon. I'll do a separate tier where if you want to watch or view his everything he filmed in the World Cup, maybe a couple dollars to watch it, and all the funding would go to you. I'll go ahead and send it all to you. So I'll be putting that together here soon. I can't wait to see the footage. I'm pretty sure that you got a lot of good interviews, right?
yeah. I only made a short couple of interviews with all the flyers, and you must know at that time in 2009 there wasn't Facebook, there wasn't YouTube, there was nothing.
No.
So I took my video camera around the world and made short footages and short like interviews with all the flyers in that fly. So I think it came out very good. So I really think there's a couple of guys not with us anymore, and but I still think it is worth it to have a look at it.
Okay.
I'll definitely talk to you to
Okay.
get it over to you.
Sounds good. And then so we'll do a second an episode on judging, and that's gonna take a little bit of time right there, since a lot of people are interested in that. I know that you're talking about you're a very strict judge, and that's what a lot of people are looking for is how to be a strict judge, and not be a judge that it's a loose judge. So
Yeah,
we can't wait for that, and maybe in a couple of weeks we could do that. What do you think about that?
I think so. No problem.
Okay, sounds good. Well, we're gonna go ahead and end this podcast. You know, round of applause. Thank you. That this is very good. Like I said, I apologize for the little hiccup that we had. I'll try to get a little bit more prepared on that, and we'll set up the next episode, and we'll put it together. Thank you, everybody.
No problem. Thank you, everybody.
Give me just a minute, okay, Hans? Give me just a minute.